Tuesday. Oh my goodness, I believe it's June 20th. Which means it's GMO Tuesday. GMO Tuesday. It's about 6 a.m. out here on the West Coast. Some very entertaining developments on Crispr. I remember I've been talking about Crispr the last couple of podcasts. I have serious concerns now. A little chain of event, and I want you to think about this for just a minute here, ladies and gentlemen. This is how coordinated Monsanto is. On June 7th, Crispr, the companies that have invested heavily in Crispr stocks, Crispr stocks, took a nosedive, a big nosedive. All kinds of articles. Is the scare warranted? Is the drop in stock warranted? All kinds of financial experts come out about this. On June 12th, the renowned astrophysicist, the rocket scientist himself, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the rocket scientist that wants you to believe that rubbing two flowers together is the same as putting poison in the corn that is registered as an insecticide to make your Fritos and Doritos and every other corn chip on the market, is the same thing. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson wants everybody in America to believe. Oh, and by the way, Penn Jillette, the big old magic man, the Vegas act, the show lounge act down in Las Vegas, says the same thing. Think about that for a minute. You got a guy, big, heavy duty in the entertainment industry that sells comedic magic. That's his gig. And he's going to become an expert and tell you, he told that goofy blonde guy on the Blaze that rubbing two flowers together is the same thing as genetically modifying the corn. Same thing Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Now, on June 12th, who's promoting Crispr? Neil deGrasse Tyson. For whom? Monsanto. Stop and think about it, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting ready to unload this and put it in our systems unchecked because they found a way to get around current GMO laws. This is huge. This is huge. And you need to pay attention to it and be aware. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense. That's the preamble of the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say corporations should be allowed to beat us to death. So, what is going on? I have said this for a long time. Monsanto is a chemical company. Why are they making our food? How have they been allowed to patent life? Because they buy everything. They lie about everything. They manipulate data. As lawsuits come in on this company, more and more and more cases of collusion and corruption between the agencies that have been developed to protect the population of the United States of America, our food, our water, our ecology have been so eroded and so infiltrated with Monsanto lackeys and agrochemical company lobbyists. I want you to think about this for just a minute. There's 22 lobbyists per representative in Congress, per senator in the Senate. Think about that. Think about it. That's like 10,000 lobbyists. Hang on, let's find out how many that is. We got 525 members altogether. for, let me see, 11,550 lobbyists in Washington, D.C. That's what's the matter with our government, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's the matter with our government. On June 7th, the stocks take a nosedive. On June 12th, here comes Neil deGrasse Tyson. They march him out. They parade him out. The GMO industry rocket scientist shill. Now, I'm not saying deGrasse is a bad guy. I'm just saying he's been a victim of pecuniary greed, because there's absolutely no way somebody with that kind of intelligence level is going to open their mouth and speak about anything for free. That's the corporate environment of America. Corporate environment of America. Yesterday, a awesome production. Links. I will have links in the description, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a lot of them. A lot of them. Before I go any further, you need non-GMO or organic feed for your animals. Foothill Feed and Mercantile. Foothill Feed and Mercantile, 1330 Geiger grade up there in Reno, Nevada. Hey, remember, folks, I'm getting ready to hit the road and take the show on the road again. So if you have a feed shop, if you have something going on that's organic, that's non-organic, you have a product, need a little promotion help, say something to me. We'll get you squared away. I will be going to new areas, so I'm going to be having new people as sponsors and working with different communities here. But yesterday, spoke a little bit with Zen Honeycutt, that little cutie pie, Southern California, moms across America. Awesome work, Zen. Awesome production. Communities rising. You got to look at it. Link will be in the description. I've already started pushing it out everywhere. And Zen said something that, because I've been called an activist for the last 6-7 years, screaming about some stuff, whether it be in property preservation industry or right here in the GMO realm. I like Zen. Zen says this in her movie. I never started out to be an activist. I just wanted good food. Now I'm an activist because I want good food. And of course, activist has that little kind of negative connotation. And of course, Monsanto says we're activists. We have to be against them because we're activists. I don't understand that concept. I've never understood why I have to be an activist because I don't want poison in my food. I also don't understand how I have to have some PhD to understand what's in my food. If I don't know, if I look at a label, ladies and gentlemen, and I see a weird word, I put it back on the shelf. I put it back on the shelf. I'm not even going to touch the Amazon Whole Food issue right now. But we're not even going to go there. But I want to point something out here. Zen Honeycutt has taken a lot of heat from idiots like Kevin Synapathy, who happens to have rich mommy and daddy up somewhere with a data company and in the IT world. And she doesn't even have a science degree, but she is billed as a science commentator. Excuse me. When you're a liberal arts student, how do you become a science commentator? Because the definition of a science commentator is one who explains science to the layperson. But Kevin Synapathy has made it her mission to destroy Vani Ari, the food babe, and Zen Honeycutt. Why would somebody do that when all those two women did, and all they have done, and all they continue to do is bring awareness to the poisons in our food system? That's all they've done. I'm sorry. Zen and Bonnie kind of should be put on a little bit of a pedestal and given sainthood or something, for crying out loud. Those are good mothers. This lady, Zen Honeycutt, she started out looking at what was going on because her kids were getting sick. She didn't understand it. She grew up in a farm in Connecticut or back east somewhere. I think it was Connecticut. If I'm wrong, Zen, I'm sorry. But I think she grew up back in Connecticut, in the East Coast. But she grew up with fresh food, growing fresh food. Look, my father taught me two things to ensure that I would be able to eat for the rest of my life. He taught me how to farm and he taught me how to fish. 85% of our foods on the shelf that are processed are GMO foods. Progresso, look at Progresso soup. If it has a potato in it, it's going to say genetically engineered products. There are genetically engineered ingredients. Is this something we really want, ladies and gentlemen? Is this something we want in our food? Do you really want... We got a healthcare crisis in America. And I want everybody to think for a minute about what I just said. 85% of the food, processed food, has genetically engineered, genetically modified products in or ingredients in the product itself, in the final product. The United States has the highest health issues on the planet. Our health crisis has exploded, and I mean exploded, in the past 25 years. I have always grown my own food. I have always been one to go out and fish or do whatever. If I buy meat now, ladies and gentlemen, I go straight to the farmer to see what they have. Know your farmer, know your food. It's just that simple. Know your farmer, know your food. I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull a picture up here, ladies and gentlemen, about, and it's talking about the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. I want you to really look at this photograph for a minute. If you know a little bit about geography, you'll see this whole area. It's a map. And what they call dead zone, let me see here. What they call the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico is an algae bloom that's been created from all the fertilizers and stuff coming down, and it chokes out oxygen supplies and kills the shoal life. Your clams, mussels, oysters. I don't know if they have the oysters in the Gulf of Mexico. I think it might be a little too warm there for oysters. But I'm sure they have some type of shellfish and crustaceans that are being decimated, and the balance of the ecosystem is going bad. Look at this map for just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see the red part of the map is where the cities are in the United States. I'm going to show you something right here. Right here, we're up in Ohio, Pennsylvania. So you have Illinois, Indiana, up in this area here, Michigan, Wisconsin, Montana, Idaho, and you can see all the rivers come. Here's the Mississippi River right here. All of this comes down in the Mississippi, goes into the Gulf of Mexico. It's the United States. And I'm going to say this again. All these people march for science. And I know what people say. I'm going to say this about Thomas. Thomas provides solid, he might be an opponent, if you will, but Thomas provides solid information, and he provides conversation, and he comes to the table, and it's not, oh, well, you're scientifically illiterate. You're the big word. You're a technophobe. Why did they put phobe after everything that people have an issue with? Islamophobe? I'm sorry. If you don't believe in an ideology, how does that make you a phobe? How does that make you phobic? Did you see the play here? Everything Monsanto does is right out of Alinsky's playbook, ladies and gentlemen. So when you see attacks in social media, whether it's on Twitter or on LinkedIn. LinkedIn was huge at one time in an agriculture group, but the managers of the agriculture group said, "Hey, stop. We're not doing this anymore. We're here for agriculture." But they have that systematic tear you down, challenge what you say, put you on the defense, challenge your education, make you feel stupid, tell you you're dumb, tell you you're scared, all this kind of stuff. It's right out of Alinsky's playbook of radicalizing a society, which part and parcel was the Democratic's platform, and it still is. If you listen to the leaders of the Democratic Party, if that's what you want to call them, I call them the whack jobs, the three stooges there. Anyways, let's get off the politics, because that's a very frustrating thing, especially when it comes to the GMOs. And I'm going to ask again, ladies and gentlemen, whom do your elected officials represent? You or Monsanto or Dow Chemical or DuPont? They represent you. Let's start holding them accountable. EcoWatch. Summer Gulf dead zone could be bigger than Connecticut. That's a pretty good chunk of real estate right there, ladies and gentlemen. Why is that important? Because the farther out in the ocean you go, the bigger the stuff gets. So you got little stuff eating little stuff off the shores, and as we go out, bigger stuff eats a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. Then we get the sharks and the bigger animals out there eating the little stuff. It's called balance. It's called ecology. And remember, the Monsanto Tribunal has taken Monsanto and Company up into the UN to charge them with crimes against the planet. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know, but it is making a statement. My hope is that eventually their stock bottoms out and Bayer doesn't want them anymore. I don't know. I really hope that merger doesn't go through, but it's looking like it's going to. The big issue with politics right now is our healthcare system. Every single day, more than once, I will ask our president, his wife, the EPA, the FDA, the USDA, and if I have enough characters left, I will get Ivanka, because she has daddy's ear. And I'm not saying that to be mean or bad or anything, but she wants to eat healthy too. The First Lady, concerned about her son's health. They badmouth her because she's concerned about her son's health. How is that a bad person, ladies and gentlemen? Please explain to me how a mother, any mother on the planet, is concerned about their child's health and welfare. How is that a bad person? Yet morons like Cabinson Apathy want to say Zen Honeycutt, Vani Hari is a bad person. The entire Democratic Party wants to come out and say Mrs. Trump is a bad person because she doesn't want GMO foods in the kitchen being fed to her kid. How is that a bad person? I'm going to ask it again. How is that a bad mother that is looking out for the health of their child? That's what a mother does. That's called instinct. A woman changes when she has a baby because her first priority is the baby. It's her child. That's part of her. You take care. My mother I was so grateful to my mother that she wasn't an alcoholic, wasn't a drug addict, didn't do weird things and feed us sick crap. To this day, I'm not a soda person. I'm not a soda person because I saw somebody clean battery terminals. I was 5 years old when I saw somebody clean battery terminals with Coca-Cola. It was my Uncle George. And I asked him, I said, Uncle George, you're drinking that. What is it doing in your gut? And of course, Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen, in bed with Monsanto since 1901, put the first bits of poison in our food. That's where it started. That's where it started. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. Community Rising. You got to watch it. You got to look at it. It's got some great information. It will, if you're looking for avenues to pursue, get with Moms Across America. Her website's off the hook. She got some great stuff on her website. It's so good I'd watch it again, and I will later. But it is very good. Watch. It's about 50 minutes. It's a short movie. But like she said, I don't think any of us started out or wanted to be an activist, if you will. We started out researching and looking and wondering and asking questions. And when all the dots lead back, what was that old saying? All roads lead to Rome. Right now, all the dots and all the issues in our food supply are going back to Monsanto. I don't know how we get them out of the food supply, but I do know this. If Moms Across America, if the Food Babe Network, if Ronnie Cummings and the Organic Consumers Association, Mr. Kimbrell with Center for Food Safety, Sarah at Food and Water Watch, or all these organizations that are out there with their massive mailing lists, I'm telling you right now, we need to use social media just like our president does. He circumvents everything when he says, I'm being investigated by the guy who told me to do something for doing what he told me to do. He has circumvented the press and their slant on how they want to run the story. There's a new phrase out there right now. It's called clickbait. And I've noticed it a lot. They'll make sensationalize a headline and it's garbage the article's garbage. And that is what's going on in social media. It's clickbait. You're being led to believe you're going to go see something that you don't see or read. So you gotta. I'm trying to figure out how to say this and be diplomatic, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody with a lick of common sense can tell you that rubbing the boy flower and the girl flower together is not the same thing as putting poison in the corn that's registered as an insecticide to make your corn chips. That type of GMO technology is the farthest thing from rubbing two flowers together that you're ever going to see, ladies and gentlemen. That is just hogwash. But yet, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the paid mouthpiece for the GMO industry, the rocket scientist, the astrophysicist, the man whose IQ is off the charts, I guess he thinks because he's so smart, he can tell us and we're going to believe it. And that right there is the crux of what's going on. The United States has the worst health care on the planet. Right now, the big issue is, Russia. Russia's the bad guy. Russia's this, Russia's that. They've been saying that since I can remember understanding the English language and hearing Russia. Although, when I was a kid, Russia actually was trying to put nuclear weapons in Cuba. That's when Russia was a problem, not today. But Putin is this big, bad, evil man. That's what they made him out to be. Putin. Listen to Maxine Waters. Putin's the bad guy. Listen to Nancy Pelosi. Putin's the bad guy. Listen to Dianne Feinstein. Putin's the bad guy. Listen to Chuck Schumer. Putin's the bad guy. Common denominator there. Think about it. Yet, Mr. Putin will not allow GMO crops to be grown, will not allow GMO imports. He's a bad guy, but he won't feed his subjects poison. That's an interesting take, isn't it? Food for thought. Food for thought on the GMO Tuesday. Food for thought. My thought on the Twitter campaign, ladies and gentlemen, and this is just a thought, and I want everybody to think about this for just a minute. Think about it really hard. Just take 5 minutes and throw this around. How long would it take your organization to put an email together saying, hey, let's crash Twitter today at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody tweet to the President of the United States, please get the poison out of our food. You don't think that's going to create a serious awareness? I'm just asking. I'm just thinking out loud here. Here's why I say this. Every study, every research, everything we've read and been led to believe, and then, of course, the New York Times, the Washington Post, all these outlets have been tagged as fake news, but they have all said 90% of America, 90% of the population wants food labeling. It's kind of like the 1% versus a 99% thing here. 90%. But yet we have politicians like Debbie, let me take $15,000 and stab my constituents in the back, stabbing now, taking money from Monsanto and giving us a QR code that takes you to a propaganda website. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not labeling. That's propaganda. That's brainwashing. We have an entire generation of scientists that have been taught Monsanto science. You can tell by the way they talk. Listen to a 20-something talk right now that has a PhD, that's got some kind of science degree. When you listen to them talk, they've been educated the Monsanto way. They haven't been educated in real science. They've been educated Monsanto science. The purchase science, the what we want you to believe science, the Alinsky. Think about it. Just take a minute and think about it. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. In good news, you want some good news? Big shout out to Chef Ivan Calderon. 25th business anniversary. A chef, Taco Mesa, Taco Rosa. Non-GMO corn he wants for his tortillas. He's set up. He's going to be making about 2,400 tortillas an hour to supply his restaurants. I think I need to go get a taco because, hey, come on, I like tacos. I can pound some tacos, baby. I got non-GMO tacos coming. Look, you have to really be aware of what's in the food. Is it, and I know all the arguments out there. I've heard them all. There's probably going to be a new one tomorrow. But I've heard them all about correlation is not causation. Bullshit. 25 years ago, I'm sorry, what was it? 1992, 25 years ago, we were given substantially equivalent. Since that time, all this GMO products have got into our food supply. Our health issues have compounded by 100. We have kids that have diseases. They don't even know what they are. They have mental issues. They don't even know what's going on with these children. It's disgusting. They're being poisoned. And what are they doing? Stop and think about this for a minute. Stop and think for a minute. Again, I want you to pretend you have $1 billion. I want you to pretend I'm selling you on investing in my company. And I want you to think about this. I want you to invest in my product. Okay? I want you to invest in this product because it's going to allow us to use less of this product. Oh, by the way, this product is my #1 selling product. Give me a break. We're using more poisons and herbicides, insecticides. We're using more side stuff now than we ever have in the history of agriculture, ladies and gentlemen. Did you order a pink pineapple? Did you order food that doesn't rot? Who grows potatoes or buys a potato and doesn't eat it? You don't buy food to sit on the shelf. You buy food to eat. So why do we have apples that don't rot? Why do we have potatoes that don't rot? And if you want to see how ugly those potatoes are, look at my series that I did on the GMO potatoes. They're on the YouTube station, folks. But look at those potatoes, especially number 10. If you're a chef, these potatoes are saying chef's choice everywhere. Well, guess what, folks? I'm a chef, and they ain't my choice. And obviously, Ivan Calderon, big shout out, tip of the hat to Ivan for the non-GMO issue and bringing awareness into the restaurant industry. Oh, also in the link, there'll be a thing on, is your restaurant, how to find out if your restaurant is, Ronnie Cummings put an article out this past week, how to find out if your restaurant is using, I'm drawing a blank, not factory farm food, are they raising healthy chickens? Are they raising healthy beef? Are they doing this or doing that? But it's a good article, so the link will be in the in the description, folks. But just stop and think. Consumer power is how we do this, folks. I want you to think about this for just a minute. Everything in the store has a shelf life. Do you really need Twinkies this week? Do you really, really, really have to have your Fritos this week? When you see boycott Nestle, boycott Hershey, boycott, the only boycott I have seen that I kind of semi-disagree with, is the one with Smuckers, because Smuckers, at this time, my research shows they're not using genetically, although they do use that high fructose, they use corn squeezins, I think they do, but for the most part, they're not using GMO. But they are part of the group that blocks food labeling. So that's what's going on there. But why don't they want to put what's on the label? Anybody thought about that? Here's another issue to really stop and think about, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason they don't want you to know what's in the food. Once you know what's in the food, they become liable. They become liable. Because it's right there. It's black and white right in front of you. They become liable. So think about that when you're shopping. I don't buy any Nestle product anymore. Or I'm sorry, Nabisco. Nestle, I'm not big on Nestle either. But Nabisco, I have quit buying any Nabisco product for this reason. Instead of investing in American and technology for their plants, they closed the plants, 800 jobs, and went to Mexico because there's no regulations. That makes Nabisco dangerous to your child and your family. That's what that does. Chef Ivan, tip of the hat to you, sir. Congratulations on 25 years. Before I head to the East Coast, I'm going to come get a taco. You can bet on that. Who knows? I don't know where I'm going to head up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I highly recommend go look at Zen Honeycut Communities Rising. It is very informative, very eye-opening. One of the best productions I have seen in a while. I don't know who assisted Zen, but all the production crew, everybody that did that, put that together. Great job. Great job. The Gulf Dead Zone. We have to start addressing these issues. We're wiping this country out. We have some of the best cropland on the planet, and we're wiping it out with chemicals. Ladies and gentlemen, farming was never designed, never created to grow something in one place to supply the entire world. That's what Monsanto is trying to do. Countries around the world, I want you to think about something for just a minute. The countries in Africa right now are saying no to these new corns, the new products, and Monsanto's suing them, trying to force them down their throats. Why are they saying no? Because they haven't delivered, the last products didn't deliver as billed. What do they say? The proof is in the pudding? Well, that's what the cooks say. Keep in mind that these people in Africa are running around shooting lizards and eating snakes. Keep in mind, they can't grow enough stuff because the soil's been depleted, because the heat and whatnot. They have some very, very hostile growing conditions in some parts of Africa. That's where Monsanto goes. Let's find the hungry people and let's brainwash them. Let's trick them. And that's what they did in India. India now doesn't want the GMOs. India right now is ready to go off on their government over the mustard issue because they want to green light GMO mustard. And India's saying, oh, hell no. The people of India are saying no. The cotton issue. Again, correlation is not causation. Well, I'm sorry, but they're right. It isn't. The causation is the chemical. And if you can show that 25 years ago, this was done, and look what we have today, and look how it has progressed since this was done. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. That's all I'm saying. Connect the dots is what you got to do. Connect the dots. Moms Across America, go to the website. Check the movie out. It's on YouTube, folks. Link is in the description. Vani Hari and the Food Babe, check her stuff out. Great stuff. She got great recipes all the time. All the time. I got to give, you know what? I got to pull something up on Twitter. This gal here, I found her website. She's another one. I believe she's in the Midwest somewhere. Let me see here. I told her I was going to do this. I'll find it here real quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, give me just 1 second here. Dooby-dooby-doo. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anytime. But again, this is another gal. Paula Mayer. Drop dead gorgeous. This gal's a cutie pie too. 52 years old. She looks like a 25-year-old. Healthy living and eating. This girl's a walking testament. Look at this gal. You look at that lady there. That is a pretty young lady. Healthy eating. I want you guys to think about something for just a minute. All the women, and I'm addressing the men out there right now, because we all, unless we're homosexual, we all like to girl watch. Even the homosexuals like to girl watch. Every woman that I have seen promoting non-GMO food is drop dead gorgeous. Why do you want to go eat the poison stuff on the other side of the fence? I'm staying over here with the idiot girls that want non-GMO food. That's where I'm staying. They're pretty. They look good. They look good. Michelle Obama is not so pretty. Nancy Pelosi, not so pretty. PaulasHealthyLiving.com. PaulasHealthyLiving.com. I was on her website. She has got off the hook stuff, kind of like that gal, MDG blogger, Marla Dawn Gates, her website, that cutie pie from the Keystone State. Good stuff, good stuff. But go check out Paula's website. And as we go along, Paula connected with me the other day. She retweeted my tweet. Please get the poison out of our food. That's all you got to do, folks. Start retweeting stuff. You see something? If you're on Twitter, Okay? If you're on Twitter and you see something, and you can ask these people, if you follow me, I am going to come back and tag you and follow you and say, hey, please join my campaign asking the President of the United States, the First Lady of the United States, the EPA, the FDA, the USDA, please get the poison out of our food. It takes 30 seconds. It takes 30 seconds. Problem I'm having, I'm starting to get a lot of followers, so it's taking a little more than 30 seconds. Starting to take me about 10 minutes a day now. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it because that is the goal. Let's blow Twitter up. Let's end up on Tucker Carlson. Let's end up on CNN, the fake news network. Let's end up on these news shows trending on Twitter today. They all have that segment. They all have trending segments. But think about it. How do we... I mean, all I'm saying, folks, is I know petitions are great, but I've never seen the petition. I've signed a lot of them, put my name on them, all electronically, but I've never seen a politician in Washington, D.C. reviewing the petition and the signatures on the petition to make a decision. They can't ignore social media, ladies and gentlemen. It is an issue right now. They cannot ignore it. And all you got to do is trip that algorithm. That is how they set things in your, what you call it. You can see the sun's coming up here, going to blast me out and wash me out in a minute. Good thing about it done, huh? But get over to Paula's website, paulashealthyliving.com. We'll have the link in the description. Definitely have the link in the description there, ladies and gentlemen. But she has a good website. And like I said, man, healthy living, the women are gorgeous. And they all eat good. They all don't want poison in their food. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. Please, somebody explain this to me. How is it that all the gorgeous women on the planet don't want poison in their food? Kevin Synapathy has one eyebrow, man. She's eating GMO food. Just saying. I'm sure Kevin Synapathy is a great young lady. She's probably a very nice person, except she's a little demented in the head because she brags about feeding GMO food to her children. She brags about it. That's insane. Paula's Healthy Living. Oatmeal. Oh, that's what it was. Oatmeal. You like oatmeal cookies? I love oatmeal cookies. I'm going to make a case right now. And if you have children watching, you might want to get them out of the room or you're going to be feeding them oatmeal cookies for breakfast. I'm going to make a case that oatmeal cookies are a breakfast food. Okay? In oatmeal, we cook some oatmeal up. We'll put raisins in it, maybe some nuts in it, pecans or something, walnuts sometimes, brown sugar, some cinnamon, a little butter, milk. That's what we put in the bowl of oatmeal. Oatmeal cookies. We get oatmeal. We get a little brown sugar. Get a little butter. Get a little bit of flour, I think there is in there. What else is in oatmeal cookies? Oh, we put raisins and nuts in them. All oatmeal cookies are. Oatmeal cookies in a glass of milk. It's the same thing as a bowl of oatmeal. It's just cold and different delivery system. I'm a freak. I love oatmeal cookies. It's a breakfast food. But she's got a good article on there about oatmeal being a great breakfast food. And of course, oatmeal is a very healthy stuff. One of the problems that you have to look for now, because Quaker Oats got sued because drying oats with the damn glyphosate. Our food supply has been hijacked by chemical companies. And what does a chemical company do when a health issue arrives? They create a new chemical to counter the last chemical. That's what chemical companies do. So while they're poisoning you with this, they're already making something to counteract it so they can sell you another chemical. That is the industry in a nutshell, basically. It's crazy and it's insane. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you hear, give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That's all great. boosts the ego. It makes people feel good. MDGblogger.com. Go over and check her stuff out. Don't forget Mary's Heirloom Seeds. The seed bank. Support your local seed banks. Non-GMO or organic feeds for your animal in the Reno, Northern Nevada area. Foothill Feed and Mercantile. 775-852-0999. Shannon, tell Shannon I said hello. She'll get you squared away with whatever food you need for your critters. Like I said, if you're going to train that pig to hold an apple in his mouth, you don't want to be feeding him poison. You're going to eat it. What goes in the ground, ladies and gentlemen, goes on your table. Always remember that. What goes in the ground goes on the table. It's just that simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's called the food supply. Take a look at the description. We'll have all kinds of information down there for you. If you can donate, hit the link to alladayllc.com on the website. We do post the videos up on the website when we get done with the podcast here and they get published. It's going to be gorgeous out today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a great time. Let's all be safe out there.